Hello once again everybody, and welcome back to my Character Crusade Unbound Season 2 Let's Play featuring Alusell, Alteration Swordsman. First things first here, before we get started, I just wanted to say that I'm very sleep deprived right now, so if I sound a little loopy, or if I start gibbering a bunch of gibberish, that's what I'm blaming it on. I've just been working a lot of insane hours lately, but, you know, sometimes you just gotta take a Skyrim break, so that's what I'm doing. Next item of business, I think. Great news, actually. Really good news. I remembered what my third point was that I was trying to make in not the last episode, but the episode before that. When I said that there was 3 points that I wanted to make regarding Alusell's perspective on magic in respect to Redguard's general disdain and avoidance of magic in Redguard culture. The first point, I think, was that Alusell was so much of an introvert that he was not really connected to Redguard culture. At least he didn't feel that way. So he doesn't necessarily share that disdain for magic. The second point being that his practice of magic, or at least the manifestation of spells and things, are more from an extreme focus of his mind and body and his internal energy, or like his ki or chi in Eastern philosophy. So he's more of like a Shaolin monk, I would say, than he is like a traditional wizard or mage. In that regard, all that power is coming from his own energy, his mental focus, and physical acuteness. The third point that I had forgotten and that I wanted to make was that while it is true in Elder Scrolls lore that Redguards in general are wary of magic and tend to avoid it in many forms, Skyrim actually gives bonuses to Redguards in destruction and alteration. For a level 1 character, they get a +5 bonus to those two schools, those two skills in those schools of magic. And in fact, those bonuses, coupled with the +10 skill bonus to one-handed, were largely what drove me to choose a Redguard for this character concept, this alteration swordsman sort of spell sword concept. So while in lore Redguards may be averse to magic, in Skyrim, at least at this period in time in the Elder Scrolls universe, it's telling us that Redguards are actually naturally talented or even gifted in at least those two schools of magic. Destruction and alteration, which is an interesting concept. I'm not sure really what the lore is behind that, except for maybe the Sword Singer stuff, where it's actually very similar to the way Alusell handles things. Is they're very gifted swordsmen, but they're also able to focus their energy to perform certain magical or magic-like actions, such as casting spells and becoming tougher and more physically aware or focused, stronger, faster, and things like that. So yeah, I'm really happy I was able to remember that third point. It's probably not going to save me from looking like a complete idiot in that episode at the time, but at least now I don't have that nagging sensation in the back of my head that I'm forgetting something or somehow otherwise going crazy. Alright, so that brings us to the present. Well, actually, let's stay in the past a little bit more. Let's do a very quick recap on where we're coming from. So at the beginning of my season 2, or I'm sorry, season 2, episode 2, um, which it corresponds with the Ghosts of Yore story part 2 on the Character Crusade site. I still have that linked below in the description if you want to check that out. I highly encourage you to do so. Let's see. Alusell had just finished doing some tasks for Viarmo at the Bard's College here in Solitude, and was officially inducted into the Bard's College as an actual bard, as a student there. During his induction ceremony and the burning of King Olaf Festival, which was kind of one and the same, he felt something pulling him back into the college, into the basement, and Haldir was there. And that's where Haldir delivered part 2 of the Ghost of Yore story, which basically had to do with somebody, it could be him, waking up in an inn and the innkeeper nursing him back to health after being grievously injured somehow, probably in some battle or something. Seeing cloaked figures, which could be the Dragon Priest, either Hevnarak or Vokun, or something completely different. We just don't know yet. The story hasn't been revealed. But the second part, or the second half of that story, actually revolved around warriors in a very large encampment that was attacked, kind of infiltrated by enemies, and that seemed like a follow-up to the Ghost of Yore Part 1, where probably that same character and his friend were joining with the rest of the Nord warriors in the old Hroldan Inn area, getting ready for some sort of battle with the natives, which are probably the Forsworn. So kind of being verified that his encounter at Dead Men's Respite with King Olaf, One Eye, and Svaknir felt related to things that he had felt in Haldir's cairn over here. He now felt validated that the things that he was experiencing with Haldir were real, and significant, and something that he should definitely follow up on. So he decided to check out the old Hroldan area, just to see if he can glean any more information, find out any more about the history of the battles that took place here, just to see if he can get any more details about the events that Haldir was or is trying to educate him on. So his plan was to head down the main bridge here to Markarth, kind of check out that area before he headed over to Old Hroldan Inn, and then just kind of explore the area here to see what he could learn. So that's where we're at now. We're on the way, and I wanted to start recording here, both because I wanted to kind of redeem myself for forgetting about my third point about Redguard magic. And also because the last two episodes, the last one being meeting Andion just outside of Solitude here, who gave us a message from the past about something over here in the mountains, close to Mount Anthor, that we should go check out, and an ancient relic that's supposed to hold some kind of hidden power. Yeah, so we met him on the way. That will be later. We're working our way over there. So we followed down the road from here, and now we are at well, Alusell doesn't know this yet, but we do. There's a Forsworn encampment up here. They've taken over this old fort over here. And since the last couple of episodes were largely story-based and just me yammering on and on about Alusell's story and his experiences with Haldir and how he made his sword and got his robes made by the terrible sisters at Radiant Raiment. I wanted to have more of an action-y episode. So that's what this is. I think we're going to be clearing out this fort over here. I'm really eager to try out the new sword and try out some of the new perks. I feel like these things are going to make us much stronger. I just want to test it in battle. And Alusell does too. He hasn't tested himself in battle in a while, so he is very much looking forward to this. So let's see what we got. Alright. We got our Stone Flesh spell, we got our Distorted Shape, and yeah, that Running Power Attack perk, coupled with the upgraded damage output by our new sword, took care of that guy in one swipe of our blade. So yeah, so far so good, huh? Alright. Yeah, it's gonna be nice. Alright, we're taking some damage here. I don't know if this energy shield perk is working or not. We seem to have taken some pretty good damage there. So I might have to look into that, maybe do some research on the Nexus page for Anai Scion's perk Ordinator, and just see if there's some kind of incompatibility with either rustic clothing and or the Divine Elegance clothing. The perk I'm talking about here is this energy shield. If wearing robes and no light or heavy armor, reduces incoming attack and elemental damage by 35%, but you lose magicka. I'm not going to lose the magicka because I'm a Vancian mage and I don't use magicka. I don't know if that makes this useless or if it makes it more effective. The other thing is I don't know if there's some kind of flag in the creation kit somewhere that that kind of flags certain items of clothing as robes or not robes, or if Ordinator itself it just checks what you're wearing against a list of items that it knows are robes. If it's the latter case, I think a lot of these robes have been replaced by newer versions from rustic clothing. Also, Divine Elegance has brand new items that it adds in on top of all that. So if that is the case, I'm not going to be getting anything from this perk. And I've looked in the magical effects, and I haven't been able to see anything in combat or out of combat that indicates that I'm getting that bonus or not. So I just don't know. Again, it seems like I took some significant damage there. But I don't know if it's less than I would have taken had I not had that perk. Seems like a really good perk, but if it doesn't work, then it was kind of a waste, unless I can use the next one down the line. Lessons learned. I'm going to quick save right there, so I don't have to backtrack at all. Alright, let's see what else we got here. Something tells me we're going to have more baddies in here somewhere. Oh, I see a trap. I think we're going to need some light. Again, I hope you don't mind the constant switching between first and third person. We will take that stake. Oh, crap. she snuck up on us. Okay, that was actually just a regular attack. That wasn't a power attack. I was going to cancel the regular attack into the power attack, and it ended up getting the kill cam on the very first regular attack. So feeling pretty strong right now. And just to verify what difficulty setting I'm playing on Master. So I don't want anybody giving me any crap that I'm on too easy of a difficulty level here, alright? Oh, that's helpful. Block skill book, we'll add that to the collection, and take that skill point eagerly. Take all this wine and these potions because they sell well. I actually don't remember the last time we had to use a potion. I think we've been doing pretty well. Alusell definitely enjoys that. We know his distaste for having to accept any kind of help, especially things like potions and enchanted items. Much less praying to a divine. Jeez. Definitely doesn't want to ask a higher power for help. He's definitely the kind of guy that likes to do things on his own, but above and beyond that, he likes to know that everything that he's doing is on his own merit, just so he can see where he's at, how strong he really is, and how much he's actually improving. Okay, looks like this is just the opposite balcony of where we were just at in that first road. I want to do another quick save. I'm very quick on the quick save these days. After a few episodes ago, I had to backtrack through like an entire huge dungeon. That was rough. Do we need some more cheese? Yeah, we may as well take it. Raya can hold it for us if we need her to. And the gourd, of course. What else we got up here? Alright, we're gonna have to get past these rocks here. I see ya. Bash her out of the spell. Little regular power attack combo there, and she's done. Alright, we are tearing through these guys. Barbarian armor is valuable for how light it is. Forsworn bow is as well. Not taking anything we have to cook, and we will... Uh-oh. Raya. I'm supposed to be watching my back. And the arrows, of course, because they don't weigh anything. I don't think we can sell them for anything yet, but as our speech gets a little higher, we may be able to. Okay, so far so good. This is really quite easy, especially for master difficulty level so far. And we only just upped that difficulty during the fight with... Was it Olaf or was it Mikrul? I think it was Mikrul Galder. So that wasn't too long ago. Just a few days ago in-game time, and just a few episodes ago. Really just a few levels and a few perks ago too.
What was that? Thought I heard something.
Wow, that is really a deadly combo. Not everything that you dream up in your head with these perk combos end up panning out all that well. But this combination of Okado's Recital with the Flesh spell, which triggers the Distorted Shape perk, which makes you basically ethereal for 10 seconds or until you do an offensive action, coupled with our one-handed prowess and the perk in that tree called Overrun, which gives us a damage bonus. Let's see if I can find it here. Gives us a damage bonus on our sprinting power attack that deals up to 50% more damage and critical damage to a target above half health. And the higher its remaining health percentage, the more damage and critical damage is dealt. That really, that all culminates in a really deadly blow. And we're able to sprint right up to our enemies without them being able to hit us with ranged attacks on the way in. And land that sprinting power attack pretty much every time we enter battle. Obviously, if there is more than one enemy there, then we're going to lose our distorted shape and become vulnerable to attack after that first enemy. But we have ways around that. We have TK dodge that we can use to roll around their arrows and their spells. We have timed blocking that we can do if we're on our game to cause staggers if they try to hit us with melee attacks. And we have bashing, really quick one-handed bashing attacks that that cause stagger as well, that we can just kind of throw out because they're really too quick even for the computer enemies to react with their own timed block on, or to bash us out of. Alright, buddy.
Now you're mine.
And that was a Briarheart. Obviously, he took some more punishment than the other guys did. After talking about that deadly combo with the sprinting power attack, I didn't do it that time, and that wasn't just me being loopy, as I said before. But that was a couple of things, actually. One, seeing this rune here made me a little wary of just sprinting right up to him, and that coupled with the fact that the Briarheart here hadn't noticed us yet, so we hadn't gained our flesh spell and hadn't gotten our distorted shape perk active. I would have ran right into that rune and likely died. In fact, let's see what kind of damage that does. I'm going to throw a quick save down right here and just walk over it. Actually, it didn't hurt me at all. I really don't know what happened there. Did my distorted shape? No? It's got to be off now because I was hacking away at this guy. That's got to be just a glitch, right? Let's load that back up and see if it happens again. Yeah, I'm at a loss. I don't really know what happened there. But I'm fairly certain I've gotten clobbered by that thing before. Is that maybe that energy shield effect? I thought that had to do with entering battle. It could be. This doesn't have any stipulation on entering a new battle or anything. And I don't have any other resistances. That was obviously a shock rune, right? Yeah, interesting. I don't know. I gotta think that that's just a glitch and I got stuck in distorted shape. One more experiment. I'm sorry, bear with me here. This is just, I don't like mysteries. Well, let me qualify that. I like solving mysteries quite a great deal. Let's perform an offensive action here. I mean, obviously we already did. And I don't think we have that distorted shape. Yeah, no distorted shape in our active effects here. Still at full health, huh? Alright, well, it's going to have to remain a mystery. Let's see what Mr. Briarheart has for us. Yeah, so that battle went pretty well, too. I was able to improvise on the fly, which I feel pretty good about. Ooh, another skill book. That's the second one. I was able to dodge the shock rune, which I feel something like that. Well, something like that has caught me several times, just even in this past series. I have recorded proof of that. And just the fact that I knew that I hadn't been discovered yet, so the distorted shape hasn't taken effect, so I was able to come in here, not blow all my stamina on a sprinting power attack, and save it for bashing him out of his spells, and just wailing on him with regular attacks. Yeah, it might have just looked like mindless hacking, but there was definitely a strategy there that I think I managed to pull off pretty well. Just looting now, seeing what kind of stuff that I can find to sell. We're doing okay on gold. Definitely not as well as we were doing before I had to spend money on the robes, the new robes that I have, and crafting materials for the new sword. But yeah, Alusell definitely needs to keep a good stockpile of coin for training, which is very important to him, and crafting his katanas, which help him get better at the whole sword crafting skill. He's not going to touch the sweet roll. Stuff's not good for you.
Yes, my Thane.
Limiting carbs is the key, right, Raya? I like to play perfectionist characters that are that have a really strong willpower when it comes to the food that they eat, because in real life I do not. Shame. Okay. My flesh spell just triggered. Oh, he's down there. Alright. Make full use of that distorted shape while I still have it. Excellent. Took a nice little shortcut on the way down there too, huh? Alright, do we have any... Oh, there's somebody else. Okay. Raya?
We've stopped.
Just
What is it?
triggered again. I need to take some stuff. Hold on to that as well. So I think this has turned out to be a pretty quick episode once I finish it off here. This is an external area to this dungeon that I wasn't thinking of, that I missed in my clearing efforts here. So I'm going to talk a little bit more about
Let's go.
some roleplay story related things
Hey,
with Alusell. Did my distorted shape just run out there? Because I got... In the very first area, when I entered this fort, I got tagged once too on my way in with a running power attack. I wonder if distorted shape ends as soon as I initiate that attack. And if they hit me kind of in the animation leading up to the active kind of hit portion of that attack, it probably gets through that. So I have to be more careful about timing those. Alusell is still... I would consider him still a glass cannon. He doesn't have a whole lot of health reserves, and he doesn't have a whole lot of armor. Just whatever the mage armor and his flesh spell affords him. What flesh spell am I running right now, by the way? I think it's still stone flesh. Yeah, I need to upgrade that to iron flesh pretty soon, I think. That should help out a lot. Okay, yeah. I think that clears it. This is cleared. This is cleared. And I think I looted everything that was around to loot. So yeah, maybe we can just head to Markarth, see what happens on the way there, and just kind of talk about what's on Alusell's mind, his current state of mind, and maybe go over some positive negative value pairs and some circles of conflict, engine and fuel type stuff. Cool. So we're heading to Markarth before going to the old Hroldan area. I think that's this way. Let's just double check the map here. Yes. So let's talk about positive negative value pairs on the way. Rael catch up, I think. Sometimes if I draw my weapon, she'll appear. Yeah, there she is. Okay. Positive negative value pairs. Alusell is in a pretty good place. He's coming into his own as a warrior and a mage. He's feeling pretty strong. He especially likes the fact that he hasn't had to use any potions or anything recently. No outside help besides Raya, but honestly I think we're doing most of the heavy lifting in combat now. Raya's just kind of acting more as a distraction than anything else at this point. So Alusell's feeling pretty good about that. Let's see what this guy has to say.
What's a milk drinker like you doing out here?
Ooh, more practice, huh? Fellow Redguard? You know you shouldn't talk to me like that.
What are you gonna do? Cry?
You need to back off now.
I don't have to take that from you.
Didn't want you to have to. Oh, I left my spell in. Bad habits. Well, just after saying how Raya wasn't doing much work, she definitely took a lot of... well, she didn't take a lot of damage away from us, but she did a lot of her own. That's for sure. I'm just going to take all of this stuff. I can unload it all on Raya.
Yes, my Thane.
So yeah, combat's going well. He's getting stronger. He is very pleased with his own progress as far as that goes. So that's definitely all positive. That's skewing his mood and the tone of this journey to the positive for sure. Seeing Haldir again kind of spooked him. Kind of resolving in his head that this curse is real, although he is a little bit relieved that with that realization he's pretty convinced at this point that he's not going mad. That possibility still exists, but there are just too many coincidences with things that he knows, with things that he know are real. It just all lines up too well. Sorry, I was hearing voices. It's my it was my Google, my Google Assistant. I thought I had a home intruder. Yeah. So, where was I? I got the adrenaline pumping. I really lost my train of thought completely. Talking about positive, negative value pairs. Let's see, Raya. Yeah. Anyway, that's skewing it. Okay, yeah. Haldir, the possibility of him going mad, still exists, but there are too many real-world, tangible pieces of evidence suggesting otherwise. With King Olaf, the reappearance of Haldir, the feel of the magical energy at Dead Men's Respite being very similar to what he felt at Haldir's Cairn. Yeah, all that kind of stacks up against him being crazy. Raya did witness Svaknir and Olaf One Eye. So that kind of thing is definitely in the realm of possibility. So that kind of mitigates the negatives a little bit, coming from the fact that this curse thing is real, even though he hasn't felt any effects of the curse yet. Not to say that he won't, just that he hasn't yet. Man, this candlelight is making it really hard to tell what that sign says there. Markarth is. It's pointing this way, but I think it's trying to signify or signal that this road is the one to Markarth. Yeah, so still skewing positive overall, especially considering he's getting along better with Raya. She's not as much of a nuisance as he saw her before. She helps. She's mostly just carrying his things like he wanted to. She's not being too intrusive in his battles. So yeah, positive, negative value pairs. He's still skewing positive. He's been positive for a little while. I feel like maybe he's due for something negative to happen. But things are just going too smoothly for him right now. I might have to think of ways to throw a monkey wrench in the gears there. It's just too happy-go-lucky at the moment. What is that up there? Oh, that might be the Thunderchild mod, the shout overhaul that I have from Anision. It adds those little those pillars of the voice that strengthen certain shouts. It's odd, that really caught my eye. Yeah, so what's next there? Can we talk about circles of conflict? So not interpersonal conflict, just regular old personal conflict, internal personal conflict. The never-ending conflict with Alusell, I feel, is his back and forth between trying to forsake his humanity in the interest of pursuing perfection. And the fact that he is still very much human. He has these feelings. He has emotions. He just represses them severely in the pursuit of physical, mental acuity and perfection of that regard. So that's always there. In fact, right now, he has been getting a little too close for comfort with Raya. He's been getting very comfortable around her. He's starting to feel as if she is a friend. And friends feel like something a little counterproductive to him. May as well just clear this place out too, I think, right? 2 battles for the price of 1. How about that? Just because friends, he sees friends as baggage, people that will get in the way of his progress, especially in terms of making him feel emotions that are counterproductive toward becoming smarter, becoming stronger, becoming faster, and becoming better at magic, better at sword play, and all that jazz. So that's a constant internal conflict of his. Interpersonal conflicts,
Yes, my friend. Do you need something?
I can't see that he has many right now. Maybe just an extension of the internal conflict of Alusell's pursuit of perfection versus his own humanity. That manifests every once in a while with Raya, even though they're getting along well now. I feel like that ebb and flow is going to trend back to the negative at some point soon here. And I do have some things, some ideas and things in store in the pipeline between Alusell and Raya. I just don't want to play those cards just yet. Soon though, very soon, I think. I just gotta see how that's all gonna fit into the overarching narrative here. And then societal conflicts. That's a tough one for Alusell, because Alusell is so introverted that he really disconnects himself from society. That kind of goes back to my point. I think it was point number 1 about Alusell's unconventional view of magic as a Redguard. That he never really connected with Redguard society, so he doesn't really think of himself as a Redguard culturally, really. I guess you could say he's an outsider in Skyrim, just because he was born and raised and spent all his life in Hammerfell. He's now in a strange new place. Environmental differences aside, and environmental unfamiliarity aside, he doesn't really feel like any more of a stranger here than he did in Hammerfell, at least with regards to the people. His interactions with people here in Skyrim are pretty much identical to the interactions that he had with people in Hammerfell. He never really had any close friends there. No family to speak of. They were all kind of slaughtered by the Thalmor in the Great War. And there's more to the backstory with him too that I've been formulating in my brain. And I'm also waiting for the right point to reveal that as well, but I'm definitely looking forward to that. So that takes care of the circles of conflict. So I'm gonna stop flapping my gums about that stuff for a while. I still have the engine and fuel stuff to talk about, but let's go ahead and clear this first. Get rid of that magic. Make sure I can block. Let's see who else we have in here. Who wants some? Come on. Oh, he made me miss. That was the fastest lackadaisical walk speed I have ever seen, ever. I don't know how I ended up missing him. Oh yeah. swings through me with the distorted shape, and I just let him carry his own momentum into my blade. Waiting for him. Couldn't get that bash off in time to interrupt his arrow shot there. I thought maybe I could. Who else we got? Do we have somebody else down here? I seem to remember a third enemy in here from my previous adventures in Skyrim. This dungeon. Might have just been that guy. Oh, and then there was a leader over here too. It's another Briarheart. Looks like it. Keep him stunned. Don't let him get off that magic. Ooh, got me. Just ran out of stamina too. I wasn't going to be able to keep him stun locked. I wouldn't have had the stamina for a bash. Just had to keep hacking. Alright, barely enough stamina to get through that fight. I don't know where Raya ended up. She got hung up on the terrain somewhere, probably. She helped us in the last I almost said Briarfart. Briarheart fight. Sell this for money. But that was all us right there. Briarhearts are no pushovers. I'm just calling them Briarfarts from now on. Because I'm 12. And I'm low on sleep, which makes me even more 12. Yeah, so that's pretty good. We were able to take down Mikrul Galder pretty easily. Legendary warlord. And now we're taking on Briarhearts. Alusell doesn't know how comparatively formidable those enemies are, but we do. As all-seeing, all-knowing Skyrim veterans that we are. Briarhearts are among some of the toughest enemies in the game, I think. And our little unarmored one-handed swordsman here is really cutting through them. Really going toe-to-toe with these fearsome adversaries. So that's good. That's encouraging. At master difficulty level, no less. Make sure we get all the loot from this place. Most of the time when I get this, the quest to clear this place from Pavo, I think his name is, in Markarth, I try to refrain from looting all the stuff from this mine. But in this case, one, Alusell doesn't know who this place belongs to. He just sees it as another Forsworn encampment. And two, I don't think that Alusell would really be above looting the place anyway. As long as he's not going to get in trouble for it legally, he's gonna take everything he can to make money. I would consider him lawful neutral in the old D&D. I don't remember what you call that. It's the lack of sleep talking. I don't remember what's that? What that trait is called. But yeah, lawful neutral. He's going to play by the rules most of the time. He's not going to go out of his way to break the rules. He gets no thrill from stealing or committing other crimes. but he's going to do what he can to make as much money as possible to further his own goals. Probably, I would say, probably like most character concepts, at least of mine. Alright, what am I doing here? So, yeah, one more thing to discuss, and that was the engine versus the engine fuel conversation. I did want to look at my map and see which way I'm going. I'm going to stay to the right of the fork here. On my way to Markarth. Quick save too, just to make sure I don't lose any progress. And this is one that I kind of had trouble grasping in Unbound Season 1 over at the Character Crusade stuff. The concept of engine versus fuel. I want to say that the engine was kind of the goal of the character, whatever that current goal, the current aim of that character was, and the fuel was kind of the emotion or the feeling or the particular circumstance that was driving that goal, driving that engine. So right now, Alusell's main goal always is perfection. And the fuel for that's actually an interesting concept. I don't know why Alusell is the way that he is. I think he's always just been so internal that he's just kind of cursed to be forever curious to see what his potential is. He's always looked inward. He's always looked inward, looking for a capacity of something great. Probably just because he was so disconnected from everyone in Hammerfell that he didn't have much sense of self-worth. He spent a lot of time inside, so he didn't have any other person to compare himself to. So now he's got a bit of a chip on his shoulder. He wants to really test himself against other people. He's been looking inside for so long, he wants to see just what comes of what he's seen in there for so long. So that's curiosity, ambition, I think, are two big ones. A need to prove himself to himself. First and foremost, but probably to prove himself to everyone else around him. Even though he would never admit that, he probably doesn't even realize it himself, but yeah, he wants to be seen as great and powerful and impressive to everyone else as well as himself. That's some good insight that I didn't even think of myself before that. As far as a more immediate goal, he wants to get to the bottom of this whole Haldir and Ghost of Yore business, I think. And I think the fuel for that is largely fear. He was drawn in by this ghostly entity who kind of virally shared this curse with him. And at first he was afraid that maybe he was going mad. Now he's afraid that he actually has a curse, and he doesn't know what that curse really entails yet, or how it's going to adversely affect him. Which makes it even scarier. Fear of the unknown is a pretty powerful thing. Is he going to be cursed to spend eternity as an undead entity like Haldir, and Svaknir, and Olaf? Haldir, in that first meeting at the campfire, in the first part of the series, indicated that in either a verbal or non-verbal way that he was racked with pain and suffering for a very, very long time. That's kind of a scary thought. Um, so yeah, fear. Also, the thought of, have we talked to Durak yet? He looks like he's coming at us. I thought we've seen him around though. Should be able to walk right by him. Okay, good. um, and yeah, going back to Alusell's compulsion to test himself and to get better. He sees this all as a pretty big test. He sees it as more than just a test, but he sees it also as a test. A test that he very much wants to pass, like every other test that he puts himself through. So yeah, I think that touches on all the story roleplay concepts presented by Couch Warrior and the other Character Crusade guys. I'm feeling pretty good about this recording. I should try to record on 3 hours of sleep every night. I think that went pretty well. Pretty complete episode. We had some pretty good combat in there. We had some pretty good discussions about Alusell, his character, what's going on in his head, and his story. I got some new concepts to think about and to flesh out a little bit and figure out how I can get into this series in the hopefully not too distant future. So yeah, speaking of the future, we'll go over that really quick and then I'll cut the episode. So yeah, we're here at Markarth. We're going to go check out this city, sell off some of our stuff, see what it offers in terms of training. See if maybe we can get our hands on an iron flesh spell or something else useful like that. Probably spend the night here, and then make our way to Old Hroldon Inn in the next episode. And if memory serves, I think there's some stuff there that will add some fuel to our Ghost of Yore fire, so to speak. Which I'm looking forward to. I hope I'm at a high enough level. 20, that should be close enough to trigger that quest. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that. And then from there, I think that will fuel content for at least another couple episodes. And then from there, we still have this Shalador stuff that we're very interested in, but it's kind of out of the way. So I don't know if we want to go all the way back down to the Rift before we head up toward Mount Anthor, which we wanted to check out because Olaf fought a dragon there, according to Olaf and the Dragon, that book that we read at the college. And to see what Haldir's message from the past was all about regarding this area of the mountains over here. And then eventually get back to the college and return the books to Urag and see what Tolfdir can offer us in terms of alteration spells and alteration training, which will be nice to get to. Let me just take a look at the alteration training here too, or alteration level. We're getting pretty high up there thanks to boosting progression with the uncapper, which I highly recommend. Even if you don't change any of the values in it, having the freedom to be able to cap and uncap skill levels and slow and speed up progressions is a really cool concept that ends up being a nice roleplay tool to use that actually has a tangible impact on your gameplay. So I highly encourage you to check out that if that's something that you're interested in. So yeah, alteration training is going to become very expensive very soon if it isn't already, and we're getting near the level 2 where we're not going to be able to train anymore anyway. Just the trainers aren't going to be high enough level to train us beyond where we're already at. But we still have some time between now and then. And definitely Tolfdir being the main alteration guy in Skyrim is going is undoubtedly going to have some very useful spells for us that I'm very eager to get my hands on, to see how Alusell can make use of those. So yeah, I think that hits everything that I wanted to talk about in this episode and even more. So until next episode, I hope you all have a great day, a great week, a great weekend, whatever you're about to embark on. I wish you luck in your own journeys, Skyrim and otherwise. And now I'm doing my sleepless rambling that I somehow avoided all episode long. So I'm going to go ahead and cut it here. See you next time. Thanks for joining me. Bye.